What's good, family? Yo, check it. Just want to check in, but also to, you know, make a light discussion about a not so light topic. But, most people don't take the time to think about it these days. So, just depends on, how you feel about things and your views and everything. And everybody's got their own way of feeling about it. But, of course, today is the 4th of July. Now, a lot of people celebrate Independence Day. A lot of people who celebrate Independence Day are not necessarily benefiting the most from the independence of this corporate country from Britain, its predecessor, as far as the way its current, you know, incarnation is. That being said, being black in America is a very, very interesting thing. And I use black in air quotes because, that is another label that was assigned to me and my people and people like me, um, and accepted. Um, you know, it is what it is. It's been that way for several years, but that is not our original term used to refer to ourselves in a lot of instances, as far as I've been able to glean from my studies. But anyhow, 4th of July specifically, black history in America starts with slavery. And black people have not enjoyed freedom in this country on several levels. And when there's any semblance of freedom, is oftentimes cut short by the realities of social injustices or human rights violations that far supersede the civil rights violations, which, you know, civil rights don't mean crap if you can't even get human rights. That's just a basic understanding of, you got a right to food and water and sunlight and stuff like that. But yeah, to control your own life and that freedom, that independence, like what is it stands for today, supposedly the Americas celebrating their freedom from, or North America specifically, the United States of America, celebrating their freedom from Britain. However, black people have yet to enjoy their freedom from their oppressor. Remember, those colonizers and colonists came from overseas to escape tyranny, supposedly. And that's part of the story that they tell us. Part of the story they didn't tell us in schools, church, and all of that other stuff is what a lot of the secret societies know and know very well. And that is that, they weren't just escaping tyrannies while they came over here. They came over here to continue, a part of what started over there, which was, there was a battle going on for years. We hear about the Moors who ruled in Spain. Well, they ruled a lot more than Spain. They have had an impact across the globe. One of the evidences of their presence here pre-Columbus is the Bornstone, with in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, I believe, Cape Cod Bay, and with Hanno Bay, and it's written in Phoenician. I'm looking forward to going to see that soon, just so that I can lay my own eyes on it. So again, that's just this is my study, what I've been learning and hearing about, but my experience is my ultimate evidence. So when I see it, I'll be able to show it to others and be like, hey, I've seen it myself. You can't tell me it's not real or not true, that it's at least there. So yeah, it is written in ancient Phoenician. Before Caucasian Europeans were even fully deciphering that what they were looking at, with the Phoenician language. They didn't even fully understand it at the time that they came over here, and now it's more like validated, like, oh, it's real, it's legit. So they've admitted it. However, basically, people of different varieties, but ultimately the melanated original people of the planet have been all over this planet for ages and suffering what original people have suffered, and their, what's the word, people who their descendants, um, has been an interesting study. And there's always the successes and the exceptions. A lot of the times you have to give up a lot of that dignity and things that would reconfirm or you know really profess your actual self-identity beyond their labels. You have to sacrifice that to get any of those other rewards that a lot of people get in the public eye, which is why you don't hear a lot of people in public talking about it, because they're either under oath, or they signed a contract, or they signed a blood contract, or they have a handler or a controller that's making sure that they don't give up the truth. So or even their truth. It might not be everybody's truth, but the reality is that there were people here, and not just the Native Americans. The story goes that that's a Mongoloid people's descent. Excuse me. Hey, sorry, gotta vibe a little bit sometimes, but yeah, the Native Americans being connected to Mongoloid, or being Mongoloid, essentially one of the Mongoloid races or lines, bloodlines, that were over here. And we only see certain pictures of Native Americans as far as films and other things. It's become more prevalent now thanks to the internet. That is kind of like a lot of the Native Americans, as we would call them, look darker than me. And I don't know if this camera's doing me justice, but I'm like a brownish, caramelish kind of tone, copper tone, somewhat. But yeah, man, that's the reality of it. It's just that this land was stolen, and it was just due as karma. Is the Caucasoid races doing to melanated people what the melanated people first did to them in a lot of ways. And so that's where the call to be higher comes from. A lot of people, we haven't got, we were like one of the we've got no reparations, none. And a lot of people don't recognize the gravity of that, who are American, because they don't realize how many people have gotten reparations. I know I didn't for a long time. I had no idea how many different cultures and peoples and races and whatever you want to call them have been repaired from the injustices and the wrongdoing that they suffered through in their own homelands, especially, and abroad or wherever else. So yeah, if you go deep enough, it's something that's been said for a long time. As black people's all over the planet before anybody, and that we was everywhere, and that everybody came from us. We the originals, not aboriginals. I that's the term. That's one of the terms that gets utilized, but I'm cautious of certain terms, because ab usually means like away from, or it's something's abstract. It's not exactly it's not exactly that thing. So I recognize myself as an original person as far as I know, unless I got the alien DNA and all that other stuff that people be talking about, which I ain't seen the evidence of that, and I'm still looking at everything. I only know what I can prove to myself, and everything else is a theory at this point, right? But with that being said, we can make educated discernment based upon the evidences that we are provided and presented, and by vetting information. And in my learning experience, I've learned to find reasonably credible sources, and to dig deeper and find their most potent information and see what that connects me to as much as possible. Still got a lot of homework to do, but at the end of the day, I know who I am, and that's what counts. And 4th of July, Independence Day, yeah, we do have, or I'll say I have, because everybody's in a different situation. I can't speak for anybody because I don't know. Even if I think I know, the people I do know, I don't really know. You don't really know the people you think you know. Is one of the things my uncle would say is, "Do you know your neighbor?" So, drug shit was going down. A lot of people turned out to be agents. It's the facts of what it is. You know, you thought you had somebody fighting for your cause because they had the same skin tone as you. You find out they working for the other person because it's, you know, you're backstabbing for knickknacks. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Uh, but since the whole slavery, the Juneteenth, and all of that,